Enterprise. I believe I can. Strength in me, oh, power in me, oh, it makes me wanna fly. Do you wanna fly? Get me out to fly. Do you wanna fly? I've got the cotton I can fly. Soaring in the sky, I believe I can fly. Enterprise, I believe I can fly. With enterprise.
We are very sorry. The network is fluctuating. We are very sorry. So you can please bear with us for a moment. We are trying to fix things up. Thank you.
leadership, we're the pillars of Africa. Hey, Enterprise Edge. There's something great in me, oh, a strength in me, oh, a power in me, oh, it makes me wanna fly. Do you wanna fly? Get me on some fly. Do you wanna fly? I've got the continent. Fly, the sky, I can fly. Enterprises. I believe I can fly with enterprises. There's something great in me, oh, a strength in me, oh, a power in me, oh, it makes me wanna fly. Do you wanna fly? Get me on some fly. Do you wanna fly? I've got the continent. Soaring in the sky. I believe I can fly. Enterprise. I believe I can fly. With enterprise. Making way, hearts are in their making way. Mighty on the Africa will surely rise, maybe not in high and price. There is the secret lies of an ascent who has been rising high and enterprise, leadership, we're the pillars of Africa. Enterprise Edge. There's something great in me, oh, a strength in me, oh, a power in me, oh, it makes me wanna fly. Do you wanna fly? Get me on some fly. Do you wanna fly? I've got the continent. I can fly. Soaring in the sky. I believe I can fly. Enterprises. I believe I can fly with enterprises.
I'm in. I'm in.
Are you ready now?
I'm in. Yes.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm sorry for the break in transmission. We had to fix some logistic issues. So please bear with us, we are so sorry. Right now, I'm going to be introducing the guest speaker who is going to be taking us on the lecture, Making Farming Interesting, Chasing the Big Bag. Now, Devon Ofowora is a social entrepreneur with expertise in agribusiness and value chain development, spanning 17 years. He's the CEO and managing director of BIC Farm Concepts. He is an Ashoka Fellow, an hydroponics technologist, a soilless farming proponent, trainer, is an author, is a teacher and strategist. So I believe we have him here already. I want us to please be open-minded to learn. Debo is going to dive us deep into the agribusiness through the team. And I want us to pay attention, have the interest, have the passion to learn. And I believe that we are going to get a whole lot from him. Mr. Debo, are you here?
Good morning.
Thank you very much. It's good to have you. Yes.
You're welcome, good afternoon. I hope I'm audible.
You are not really audible. Can you please increase the volume of your device? Okay, so while he does that, please, as it goes on with the lecture, if you have any question, you can drop them on the chat box. Yes, please, if you have questions, don't wait till the end of the lecture. Don't just drop your questions in the chat box and we attend, and it will attend to it at the end of the lecture. Thank you. Over to you, sir, Mr. Debo. You're welcome.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Mary, thank you for that. I hope I'm audible now. I hope I'm audible now.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So I would like to appreciate the organizer, especially the founder of Ascent Business Group, for this great opportunity to be with us this afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to be here. Let me also apologize again for the delay. I think it was due to miscalculation of timing, but thank God for this session. So I want to thank my Oga for this invite once again. It's a big opportunity for me to be with us, to share with us once again in an event like this. Thank you so much. Okay, I will try as much as possible to speak from my heart. I will try as much as possible, let me say, to be open and not to be too academical. I'm not an academical person. I am not. So please try to bear with me so that we can enjoy ourselves and have the best of time. So, sir, please, can I share my screen? Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir, you can go on. Yes, I can go on.
Okay, just a minute. Oh man, okay. Okay, I don't know. Can you see my screen? If you can.
Yes, we can see, sir.
Okay. So the theme of the fourth anniversary is riding the 2023-2024 economic storm, the critical issues for youth entrepreneur. And then I've been saddled with responsibility of speaking on making farming interesting and chasing the big bag. You know, when I saw this, wasn't my wife, but somebody said chasing the big bag. I said, what big bag? Is it the bag the politicians shares? Or what? So what is the big bag? The big bag is the money. Is the money in farming. I had this song by Mr. Easy. Farming, oh, farming. Freedom, oh, freedom. How many of us know that song? That farming can bring good money, farming can bring freedom. But at the same time, farming can be otherwise. So the question I think that first comes to mind when we talk about farming is what is farming? What is farming? It's very imperative we understand what farming is. What is farming? I define farming as being involved in the cultivation of land, raising of livestock, and all sorts, which is an act or a part of agriculture. But there is this interesting quote that I love sharing anytime anything around farming comes. It's a quote by a German philosopher, Ludwig Andreas. He said, food is the beginning of wisdom. He said, the first condition of putting anything into your head and your heart is to first put food, or let me say, is to first put something in your stomach. There was this word that was coined in the Nigerian political space some years back. It's a word called stomach infrastructure. I think I'm expecting one of the big dictionaries to include that word. It's a Nigerian word, stomach infrastructure. It has become a major part of our political activity. You know, we are now in the electioneering time. You see somebody giving out loaves of bread with pictures of the political actors, some packs of rice, and all sorts. But there was a particular election here, I guess the last election or the one before. I saw somebody giving out bread and a car, you know, just to buy votes. I couldn't believe it. Stomach infrastructure. But the day I came across this word, this quote, that food is the beginning of wisdom, I understood everything. That no matter what you say, no matter what you try to do, when food is not in place, nothing else can be in place. There is a saying that says an hungry man is an angry man, and an angry man is a stupid man. Because anger rests in the bosom of fools. Anger can make you do all sorts of things that you are not supposed to do. You understand? So food is key. And to produce food, you must be involved in farming. So farming and food production are brothers and sisters. They are two in one activities. So now for farming to take place, certain things or certain components must be in order. If we are going to be able to farm effectively, certain components must be in order. The first one is arable land. The second one is water. The third one is a very good climate. And the last one is strong and agile people. You know, these four components must be in place. When we talk about arable land, Nigeria as a country has the largest arable land in Africa. Largest in Africa. 84 million hectares of arable land. Arable land is that land that is suitable for crop production. But unfortunately, arable land has become less available over the years due to so many things. We have a farm somewhere in Ekpe. When that project started, we are in 2023, in 2021, that particular place was acquired, you know. I remember the first time the client took me there, it was a thick bush. The road to that farm was practically opened up and cut by the client in Ecuador, not just some 5-10 minute drive from the main road, but there was no development around that area. The moment that place was opened, the land was fenced, was cleared, and started building. Come and see. People, we just discovered the entire place just began to change. Clearing. In less than 6 months, the cost of that same land doubled, and we began to see big signboard of estates, housing estates. You know, urbanization, the rate at which it's making arable land to disappear is amazing. And not to now talk of deterioration of the same arable land, population growth. Nigeria is growing at 2.5% annually. 2.5% annually. So if we are, let's say 200 million, it means every year 5 million people will be added to the Nigerian population. So that's why it's been predicted that by the year 2028, Nigeria will be 280 million. By the year 2050, Nigeria will be almost 450 million. And that will be the third largest country in the world. Our population growth, it's something else. What about insurgency? What about banditry? Because of that, people are running away from areas that used to be farm production areas. What about water? It's a resource that is in the decline on a regular basis. Water is becoming scarce. Water is becoming scarce. In fact, one of the big technology that is growing world over is called desalination. So many countries around the world are learning and discovering building technologies to turn salt water into clean water so that they can use it for irrigation. Fresh water. Please, can you hear me? Somebody said something is wrong with.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So, you know, it's becoming a major issue, especially for those whose businesses are around water. You know, we need fresh water to grow fish. Thank you. We need fresh water to grow fish. We need fresh water for irrigation. We need fresh water for a lot of things. So fresh water, it is becoming very scarce. Now, what about good climate? As I'm talking to you, I think in another 2-3 months, the Dutch government it's completing the buyout from their farmers. Due to climate change, there is a particular area in Holland that the government is completely buying away and saying farmers no more farming activity. Imagine government is paying as much as 25 billion US dollars for the exploration of that area. Farmers have taken their government, they have sued the government, they've taken them to court. Many of them discover that they cannot win the battle because it's a climate thing. You understand what I'm saying? So many have sold out, they've moved. I learned about this discussion with somebody in Canada, and a particular farmer that was trying to buy a huge plot of land around somewhere in Canada. And he said, well, he relocated from Holland because his farm was bought over. That it was not, he said, practically could not grow crops in that area again because of climate change. Climate change, it's serious. That's the word. Many of us, or some people don't believe in climate change before. Climate change is a major issue. This process is becoming more evidential as the day go. It's a serious issue. The issue of climate change. December 24th, a particular young lady, 22 years old, died somewhere in New York. Now, this is an area that has never experienced the kind of snowstorm that they experienced within 24 hours. Imagine snow blowing within 24 hours and covering a whole town. You had a snow pile up of more than 8 feet within 24 hours. That we have never experienced this kind of thing before. Because of climate change. Climate change, it's now a major issue. In Nigeria, in 2022, almost 11 states were submerged. In Bayelsa, in Kogi, many of us saw it in Benue. I remember we once got a job to build an hydroponic fodder system. I'll talk more about it later, for a community in Nasarawa State. That place is called Doma. Doma is the border town between Benue and Nasarawa. That project was funded by, is it the Belgian government, either the Belgian government or the Canadian government, I can't remember. This was around 2017. Well, while doing that project, that we discovered I thought the largest rice farm in Nigeria then, owned by Olam, because it was the first farm that I discovered that they were using aeroplane to to fumigate. It was massive. As in just seeing several acres or hectares of rice. Big. Only to hear that in 2022, the entire place was submerged. You know, it was a huge loss to that organization. So good climate, it's a luxury now. So it's not something, and without climate, you cannot grow food. Countries like Canada see summer just 4 months in the year. And it's only in summer you can grow food. So whatever you grow, if you don't take it out by September 10th, frost setting, you lost your goods. So climate is a major issue. Now, what about strong and agile people? In Nigeria, not to even talk of Africa as a whole, the average age of farmer was 60. Thanks to God, thanks to the work a lot of people are doing, insisting that we must change this narrative. Now, you need strong people to grow food. If the average age, an average farmer, most farmers in Nigeria have been farming for almost 40 years. 60, what can those 60 people do? Farming is seen as a punitive measures. When I was in secondary school, anytime I go to school, the next thing is, in fact, as a requirement, I don't know if it still operates now as a requirement. You go to school with a piece of cutlass, hoe, and broom as a requirement. So when you misbehave or whatever, you are sent to the field to go and cut the grass, or you are sent to the school farm. It was a punitive measure. So no young person wanted to be a farmer. Sincerely, I didn't want to be a farmer. I didn't want to. And farming basically around this climb is subsistence. A farmer cultivates a very small portion of land, or he has a few animals just to get him going by, you know. It's majorly for subsistence purpose, because farming is hard labor. Farming is dirty. That was the story. But guys, you cannot grow food if you don't have strong, interesting people, which is the basis of what we are discussing today. So these factors are key if food production or farming will be realized. Now, if we don't have this, how do we do it? So how do we now make farming interesting and rewarding? Now we've spoken about land, we've spoken about water, we've spoken about the climate, we've spoken about people. But how do we now make farming interesting and rewarding? Let me say this, and that's the first statement. This is a big statement I want to make. Farming doesn't make people rich. Please write this down, paste it anywhere. Farming does not make people rich. Agribusiness makes people rich. A lot of people, we have a lot of farmers in Nigeria. We have so many farmers in Africa, and many of them are poor. In the last 10 years, or let me say 8 years, a lot of people have moved into farming because they thought it's the place to be rich. Every single day, I get calls, I get messages, people telling me, I want to invest in farming, I want to become a farmer, I want to put my money here. What will be the turnover? Let's say this, do you know how many people have become poor because they dabbled into farming in the last 5 years? Farming does not make people rich. Let's understand that. Please write it down. If there's nothing you are taking out of this seminar, this presentation, let it be this. Don't come into farming. Don't become a farmer because you want to be rich. It's not farming that makes rich. It is agribusiness that makes rich. Now, agribusiness is different from farming entirely. It's different from farming entirely. It's agribusiness. So I want to establish this before I move on. Agribusiness is the business of agriculture. Personally, I have a mission that myself and my organization, by the special grace of God, we are going to ensure that we will create and raise a minimum of 100,000 agripreneurs in Africa before the end of the year 2025. Why? If you're an agripreneur, your goal should be to create 10 jobs. So if you can do that, we have, by the grace of God, have done our work here. That doing that, we can create 1 million jobs. You see, agripreneurs are people that think about the business of agriculture. It's like there's a difference between an entrepreneur and just a businessman. A businessman is that there is money in petrol or there is money in oil. So it's buying over filling stations. It's trying to sell petrol. Why? I buy at 150, I sell at 170. It's making money. That's as far as it's concerned. But an entrepreneur gets into a particular area and look, what are the challenges there? oh, this is slow, this is not happening, this is not working. Why? Because there's no power. How do we bring power into this environment? An entrepreneur, which in this case, an agripreneur, thinks about the problem that exists and how to bring solution to it. And that's where the money is. This is the single concept I want every one of us to understand as a whole. You must think like an entrepreneur in agriculture if you want to carry the big bag, if you want to make the money. That's it. Let me quickly share a short story. Please, timekeeper, help me with timing so that I don't overshoot myself. In 2003, when I started farming as a business full-time. So I grew up in a home where, let me say, it started as a punitive measure. Civil servant parent. When my parent comes back from work, my father will just give you 15 minutes. That 15 minutes for him to change his clothes. And he will call myself and my other siblings and meet me at the backyard. Where we lived, our backyard, we had poultry, we had rabbitry, we had vegetable farm. We were breeding white rat. My father breeds a lot of white rat for different universities. Guinea fowl. We had more than 12 animals that we were growing. Dog, chicken, goat, just name it. I grew up practically that way. Vegetable, the big vegetable there was called Efoibu, who were in Ijebu. My parents worked with the Olabisi Onabanjo University. So every Friday, Olabisi Onabanjo University had 3 campuses then. We have the mini campus, you have the permanent site, then you have the Abusi site in Ijebu. So it would divide us out. Everybody has his own market. Then a 4th market joined. My mother worked at the health center. So some of us would take these goods to the health center. So my mom will have taken bookings for you. Somebody will have taken bookings for us in the mini campus. Another person will have taken bookings for us, at the permanent site. Oh, I want this quantity of. So we had our bookings. I didn't know we were doing business already. But every Friday, we make a lot of money, sell out these goods, come back. So it exposed me to a lot of things. I remember I was just with certain friends, and I said, I started driving 1994. Because as far back as that time, my father was trusting us with vehicles. Yeah, you move to this area, carry this thing. 1994, I was in SS2. I graduated from secondary school in 1995. But as far back as that time, I was being sent to different places. So in 2003, when I needed something to do, and I said, okay, farming. I said, okay, let's try farming as a business. And he said, what aspect of farming would you now like to do? And I looked, and I remember that in 2002, when we started fish farming was the type of farming that actually captivated me. Because I don't know why, but I fell in love. I love seeing fishes grow in water and all that. I remember that it took us 6 months before we got our first set of fingerling. We paid. Any fish farmer now, my guy is there, Mr. Toba Tiamira. I don't know if he's still there. In 2002, 2003, 2004, there are very few big players, the Durantes, the Cynthians and all that, Gizzy, you will book 6 months, sometimes 1 year, especially if you're trying to buy a lot of quantity. So when he said, what aspect of farming, will you try fish farming as a major business? And I said, yes. And instantly I said, I would like to own a fish hatchery. He said, why? I said, because it took us a long time before we could purchase fingerling. And I know a lot of people looking for fingerling. So I want to join that industry, that there is a gap. You know, what came to my mind was, oh, there is a gap in this particular field. Let me go into it. When we say farming, today, everybody just wants to grow crop. Nobody thinks business. Where is the money? If like somebody will just call you, I've acquired 10 acres of land in my village. I've acquired 100 hectares of land in my town. I've acquired, in the last 1 week, a minimum of 10 people have spoken with me from the diaspora, saying I've acquired this, I've acquired that, I've acquired that. So I want to start something on it. And I laugh. And I tell them, that's, you want to be a farmer. You don't start from the farm if you want to make money. Except you just want to continue the same subsistence issue that people in Africa are suffering from. You don't start from the farm. You start as a business person. It's thinking. You look at the gap. Where is the gap? Where is the money? What is the problem? For example, we produce about 2 million metric tons of tomato every year in Nigeria. We're about the 15th largest producer of tomato. But less than 1 million metric tons, less than half of that get to fork. Please, somebody note that. Over 1 million metric tons of tomato still get to rot away in Nigeria in 2022. Now we are in 2023. That people will grow tomato, but less than half of that gets to fork. Go to Benue, go to Katsina, go to Kano. You will be amazed. Yet, people are buying more land to grow tomato. I'm also a tomato farmer. But how do I do my tomato farming? I will tell you. Do you understand what I'm saying? People are growing fish. If a friend of mine called me, if you're a fish farmer, you will understand what I'm saying. When I owned a fish hatchery in 2003, 2004, I started my first major hatchery in 2004, producing more than 100,000 fingerling in 6 weeks. I was selling fingerling 7 naira in 2004. Please note the time. 7 naira per fingerling in 2004. We are now in 2023. How many years? How many years? That's 19 years, 19 or 18 years. Almost 18 years after. Fingerling is still 7 naira. 19 years, thank you. As I'm talking to you, fingerling is still 7 naira per one. 19 years after. Fingerling is still 7 naira. Yes, because people don't understand this business. Somebody just says it's easier to breed and everybody rushing. And there will be a lot of problems. So you see people now buying the wrong set of fish. We have wrong breeders in the using wrong breeding stock and all manner of things. And at the end of the day, somebody will say, I bought this fingerling, I bought this juvenile, I fed, they didn't grow up, blah, 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 blah. Because the professionals, those that understood this industry, a lot of people had moved in and no regulation, kind of, you understand what I'm trying to say? So if somebody is still saying in 2023, I still want to own an hatchery, that's still somebody's dream. The question is, what's the demand? What's the demand in that industry? What's the demand? That's the question. Somebody contacted me. They built a massive farm somewhere in Oyo State, you know, and they've spent a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. They spent more than 30 million. And the farm was not functioning. They built, they had a borehole that does not give enough water, you know, and somebody now counsel them that they should add a recirculating aquaculture system to it. So it just built certain things. And still, yeah, it wasn't functioning, thinking it could manage the water that way. So he now got in touch with us that, can we come over and check? I said, send what you have and all that. Okay, well, I will only charge you for advisory service. When you pay, I will tell you simple thing you need to do, and your problem will be solved, so that you don't continue to dig a hole that you shouldn't dig. Gone are those days that you need expensive biofilters to process water. I stopped building recirculating aquaculture system commercially some years back, because I could see that the viability was becoming a major issue, power and all that. So the question is, how can I still process my water? How can I recycle my water? I will mention certain things later. So business, you must have the mind of business if you want to carry the big bag in 2023. So let it sink. Farming does not make rich. Agribusiness does. So what are the big bag farming options that we have? I say, thank you, sir. I say we have smart farming technologies. And in this field, there are a lot of things you can do, so many spaces you can play, which I will try to do a rundown over. Let me start with hydroponic greenhouse farming. It's the first of the smart technology farming. See, technology makes things easier. Technology helps you to do a lot more with very little resources than a lot of people are doing. And then one of the technology-based farming or smart farming is hydroponics. Hydro is a Greek word, which means water, and ponics means walk, So hydroponics is a water walk. It's a word coined by an American professor. So it's massive. Using hydroponic, we have different types of hydroponic system and all that. And greenhouse is a growing room where you can grow in a controlled environment. For example, sometimes it shocks people when we tell them that tomato does not do well in rainy season because it's a summer crop. Tomato does not like water touching its leaves. Peppers does not like water touching their leaves. So they do better in the dry season in Nigeria, but they grow well all year round in the greenhouse because you create an environment that helps them, gives them the best growing environment that they need. Tomato, it's likes a warm environment, not cold. So when you grow tomato in the cold season, you don't get results. So hydroponics and greenhouse is that type of farming that helps you to grow tomato all year round. Somebody called me, I want to build a greenhouse, I want to grow this tomato, blah, 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 blah. I said, no, we only grow tomato, we start planting in February. It takes 90 days to get to fruiting. And we do a variety called indeterminate that fruit continuously, but we start our cultivation of tomato in February. So our harvest does not start until at least the end of May, June. Every year, tomato will always triple in price, minimum, at the end of May or early June, and for about 2-3 months. Why? It's the peak of the rainy season. So why grow tomato when everybody else is growing tomato? Why grow tomato when it's cheap? So if you only grow within this window frame, you will clean up, you make money, and you may not even do anything again. Yes. Okay, in a country like Canada, they have 4 months of farming. And I've met so many multi-millionaire farmers. They have a single story. I farm in summer, I drive truck in winter. Many of them, I'm telling you the truth, especially those big boys among them. He said, I have 4-month windows to farm. So I put everything to it, they own heavy equipment and all that. I make all the money I can make. And then when it's summer, especially the thick of the ice, I drive truck because it's difficult to drive truck then. So they move in, they drive trucks, they make quite some crazy money, they move out. You know, so with hydroponics, there are so many possibilities. You can grow where it doesn't look like you can grow food. That's the power of hydroponics. Let me give you this practical example. Like I said, I'll be practical. In Nigeria, why grow ewedu with hydroponics? Why grow tete, ugu with hydroponics? Because a lot of people approach me. I said, to make money using this technology, it's not the technology, it's the food. It's practically a food business. This technology gives you a lot of possibilities to grow in a small space, you know, to engage young people. It makes farming attractive to young people. Remember, to make the big bag and make farming attractive is what you're talking about. It helps you to grow plant species that are not easily grown or controlled on the soil. It helps you to save water. And it's a green skill-based farming. We have different types. I won't have time. Fodder production system. Fodder system is not just for those who want to, it's not just for those who wants to, how will I put it, who wants to feed their animals. Like fodder, somebody thinks it's for pigs, it's for cattle. No, look at this person. Fodder is also the process of growing some healthy food, like wheatgrass. Wheatgrass is a superfood. There are so many smoothie shops. I built a fodder system for somebody in VI, Victoria Island. It's for a smoothie shop. All she does there is to sprout certain grains, barley, wheat, you know, cut it, make into smoothie for people. Good money from there. Look at this person making a fodder, you know, and this fodder majorly is not for animals sometimes to be caught for smoothie. Some even pack it and they froze it and ships it around. Yes, very easy to do. A woman can see women doing it. Tomato. Look at the quality. Let me shock somebody. My 12 is the biggest food market in West Africa. The cheapest tomato in West Africa is sold in my 12. But let me tell you, despite the fact that people go to my 12 to buy tomato, 15 naira per kilo. We sell tomato in my 12. Listen to what I want to say. 900 naira per kilo. 900 naira. Because when you know the quality of what you are growing and when you are growing it, you determine. You will see, even my 12 will tell you, Kano, Jos, blah, blah, blah. There's something called grading. So they determine the quality. It's the quality that determines the price. So when you essentially grow high quality crops and it's timely, you carry the big bag. You make money. So tomato is good, but you don't grow tomato every time of the year. Like I told you, more than half of tomato produced in the course of the year, they are destroyed. So for somebody, you don't even need to own a tomato farm. Get a tomato processing mini system. At the peak of tomato farming, crop harvest in December and all that, go to these areas. Go to Benue, go to Kano, go to Katsina, go to Kaduna. Buy, process there, move. But you want to deal in fresh tomato, don't grow tomato that your harvest will come out in January, February. No, you're wasting your time. Grow and target end of May, target July, target June. You'll be shocked. Grow varieties, hybrid varieties, plum and beef that commands respect. As I'm talking to you, that there is a white guy in Ikorodu who owns a farm, asking for certain quantity of beef tomato, of cherry tomato and all that, you know. So you need to identify where the gap is. Every year, this type of tomato is always in high demand in the peak of the rainy season. So it's a money maker, it's a big bag. Exotic vegetables grow in a confined space. Using limited space to grow vegetables that are in high demand. For example, in Nigeria, a lot of people are looking for iceberg lettuce. Yes. When Burger King came to Lagos, somebody got the contract to supply all their iceberg. Huge. One of our, initially we dedicated one greenhouse to iceberg in Nigeria. Before we knew it, we had to dedicate 3 greenhouses. And I'm talking about 9.6 by 30 meter greenhouses just to iceberg. Using smart ways to grow them, you know, growing them vertically in a small space, but growing the targeted crop. Growing the targeted crop, that's the key. People keep asking, what do I produce? You see, in farming, if you want to carry the big bag, you don't start from the farm, you start from the market. It's from the market to the farm. Market to farm. Aquaculture and aquaponics. Aquaculture and aquaponics is the meeting of fish farming in captivity and hydroponics technology, where you now use the water to grow vegetables. I see a lot of people make mistake around this. They build concrete tanks and they say, I use my dirty water to wet my vegetable. Your dirty water only has ammonia. Ammonia is not one of the ingredients or element that makes crop grow well. Nitrate is what makes crop grow well. And you cannot achieve nitrate if you have not broken down ammonia into nitrite and nitrate. So there must be a biofiltration system along that line if your fish water will be important. So I see people build ponds and they say, I want to have this vegetable to eat. And at the end of the day, they are frustrated because the vegetable does not give them the kind of result. So if you want to make money, you own fish farm, your own fish ponds, there's still something you need to break down the water. You know, smart technology, responsive drip irrigation system. The day I saw this technology, I was blown away. Because with this technology, just look at it, you can grow in the desert. When you want to grow crop, the key is the soil. What's important about the soil is water is retained in the soil. A sandy soil cannot retain water, so water leaches away. You know, a muddy soil holds too much water, so the plant suffocates. And if you have a sandy soil and you're just wetting it, what will happen? So responsive drip is that drip irrigation system whereby you connect it to a tank at low pressure, bury it in your sand. If it's sand you want to use, leave it there. The water stays inside the drip. The water stays in the drip. It has micropores instead of emitting holes that normal drip irrigation system have. When plant needs to feed, just like we humans, when we are hungry, there is something called hunger pang that you feel and tells you I need food. So when plant needs food, water or nutrient, it releases exudate into the environment. So the moment this drip senses the exudate, the pulse opens by itself. You know, the pulse opens by itself and the water comes out. No electricity, just low tech, and the plants are fed. So using this technology, you can break barriers. Because, for example, for me, I used it to set up systems like this. And the result was crazy. People were just wondering, how are you building? How come you are achieving this kind of result with little cost, because normally you need a response. What we called you need a system that makes you to pump water 24/7 before you can build systems or before you can grow crops like this before in Nigeria. Now, where is the luxury of electricity? But just using gravity and drift like that, I built systems like this, and it was crazy. Do you understand? So we carried the big bag. We made money because we used common sense initiative to build systems. Crazy iceberg lettuce. They queue for this vegetable you are looking at in Nigeria. Amazing. So you must be smart. Eyeball sensors. You see, using sensors, the funny part is there are sensors that are very cheap. But if you are not thinking tech, you will not think about some of these things. Sensors helps you to know the amount of moisture in your water. In your soil, which determines the success of your vegetable. Yes. So you don't have to kill yourself. We have a farm that is currently under setup in Canada that we only give the crop water once in 3 days. Once in 3 days, because we understood what is in the substrate. We knew when they need the water. So imagine if I need to pay somebody on a daily basis to do certain things, but because I have a sensor in place and I just need to do it once in 3 days within a certain window frame. Do you know how much I will save within that window frame? What about microbial inoculant? I want to say this: Nigerians, Africans, we are allowing foreigners to use what we have in abundance to collect our money from us. Currently, the world is thinking circularity, grain, recirculation. Let me just bring this into your subconscious. Do you think a time will come where oxygen will be scarce? That you go out of your house, you don't have enough oxygen to breathe in. If you don't think that time will come yet, why do we think soil loses nutrients? Why? Most fertilizers, Dangote just commissioned, or they are commissioning is fertilizer plant. Most fertilizers has a component in it that seals off the soil layer that allows roots to penetrate. So when people think a soil is depleted with nutrients, the actual truth is the plant root does not have access to nutrients. There are microbial organisms that can break down these things. You'll be shocked. We call them rhizobacteria, beneficial bacteria. They can break it down. It's just like water. I just spoke about recirculating aquaculture system, where you recycle your water. You put in place, you build microorganisms, nitrosomonas, nitrobacter bacteria, that breaks down ammonia into nitrite, then nitrate. But you need to keep pumping the water so that the water can go through the biofiltration system. Let me shock you. Those bacteria are now being cultured and bagged. I use it in Nigeria. I've been using it since 2020. And I will tell you, when I started using it, I eradicated my biofilters. 100%. In fact, to people, business, I told them, I said, I'm exposing some things here, that we will help you with dry biofilters that does not need electricity. Because what you are culturing with your biofilter are microorganisms that breaks down ammonia. These microorganisms are being cultured in different places, freeze or dried in a bag with preservation. All you need to do is you take certain amount, put it in water, it breaks down within 6 hours. And it continues to multiply. How does it multiply? They feed on what you don't want in the water. They feed on ammonia. They feed on heavy metals. It's shocking. It's shocking that you can have the same water and you grow your fish in it. Fish grows when you have dissolved oxygen. A lot of people grow catfish in Nigeria. They have dirty water, especially Lagos farmers, because they don't have luxury of so much water. But catfish are very hardy. Even without oxygen in the water, they will come for oxygen at the water surface. And you pour food. When you give catfish feed, if it does not have dissolved oxygen, if not even just catfish, all fishes, they don't grow, they don't convert fish feed to flesh when dissolved oxygen is not ambient. So they may eat and not convert it. You want them to convert it, there must be enough dissolved oxygen. Add microbial inoculant into your water, you'll be shocked. I mean, you will be shocked. Water with iron, with metal, in Aja, in Lekki. I'm not telling you stories, I'm telling you things we are doing. The funny part is nobody is breeding microbial inoculant in Nigeria. These are things young people can do. Nobody is doing this in Nigeria. This is a crazy money maker. In Thailand, in the US, I just show you some of the products that they are producing. Crazy. Bacteria like Live-Roya, Azotobacter, Lactobacillus, Pseudomonas, so many. Guys, go into research. Go into research. They are now shipping these bacteria to Africa in large quantity. Currently, the industry is worth about $3 billion. It's massive and it's growing. With this, organic production of crop, of food is easy. You can achieve it. Because these are the microbes that helps in breaking down. In fact, let me show you. With these microbes, you don't need pesticide. They develop resilience in plants that plants are not susceptible to pests. Let me quickly give this example. We grow spring onions in my farm in Abeokuta, and we observe lizards were coming to eat them and certain things. So that was the first year, 2020, somebody introduced microbial inoculant to me. And we did personal test. We did not only put it in the root zone, we spray it on the leaves. You see, what it does is, for anybody to eat anything, the thing must look palatable, it must smell nice. None of you will eat shit. Sorry. Even if it looks palatable, the smell alone pisses you off, you know. So pests eat what smells nice to them. Certain microbial inoculant, when you coat your leaf with it, when you spray it on your leaf, it shields off the sense of smell of some of these pests, microorganism pests, or the ones that you can even see with your eyes. So even though they see your plants, they don't eat it. It does not smell as food to them. And when they exist around that area, they die of hunger. This is crazy money. Nobody is breeding in Africa. Nobody is breeding in Nigeria. And these guys are taking advantage of us. You want the big bag? Go there. Mechanized automated farming. Guys, we cannot go far if nobody can demystify mechanization. This equipment you are looking at, I never knew existed. I started in fisheries, and at the time I was building a lot of 18 ponds. When I was consulting and managing Afema Balola University fish farm, I built the phase 2 of that farm. We dug a lot of ponds, you know, and I kept thinking, if you will dig a pond at 200,000, you know, or more, a pond of 30 meters by 80 meters, 30 feet by 80 feet, I meant, even bigger. So I kept asking myself, can I dig 2, 3 a day while I have people who are addressing it? And I was imagining this kind of equipment that if I have it, it will help to make this work easier. Until I visited somewhere with my in-law in Canada, and we saw it. This particular one you are looking at, the seller said, guy, give me $400 every month for the next 84 months, and you go with it. And I sat down that I can make 2 million using this equipment in a year. I mean 2 million. and I only pay back, sorry, in a month, and I only pay back $400. How much is $400? Less than 200,000. You understand? Or 200K or thereabout. Equipment. Who is thinking about this? We can't continue to wait for China to produce for us. We cannot. We cannot. So we need to think fast. Young people, time is going. What about specialized cultivars? Look at Artemisia. Nigeria spent about over $1 billion on malaria drug and malaria prevention. Artemisia is a plant that almost all the malaria drugs takes their active ingredient from, artemisinin. This is a community where we train them in certain developmental skills in farming in Kenya. And currently we are breeding Artemisia at BIC Farms, Abeokuta. And we have a lot of plans for it. We want to make it, we want to demystify it. We want to get it around everybody. Every home should house a pot or two of Artemisia. We want to make tea from it. We want to make so many things from it and say our own contribution to malaria. So if we can take just 0.1% of that money, do you know how much it can create on somebody's table? People keep looking for money when money is a problem. Yes. What about stevia? Stevia is a game changer. See, everybody cannot go into sweetener. You need billions to produce sugar. But you can own one plot of stevia farm, 1 acre of stevia farm. Have your own, how will I put it? Have your own customized product. Look at what companies are making from stevia. This is a carbonated drink, but zero calorie. You can see it because stevia is 0 calorie. It's 0 calorie. So let me quickly round up. Look at coconut water. Very funny. Coconut is a 105 billion industry by 2025. Lee Kuan Yew, the man that developed Singapore, he said something. He said that when he became Prime Minister of Singapore, he learned that everything he will need to do to make his country great, somebody has done it somewhere. It does not need to reinvent. So he travels around to look at what people have done to come and replicate it. Guys, this particular thing I'm showing you is in Canada. Look at the cost of just a box of how many bottles? 9 bottles of 1 liter of coconut water. 30 USD, 30 CAD. 9 bottles. It's from Thailand. Do you know how much coconut we can grow in Nigeria? I've not even spoken about the coconut oil. Low-hanging fruit. Who is packaging coconut water? Very healthy. What about growing, developing garden for people? This one you're looking at is in Aso Drive in Abuja. Aso Drive, Abuja. So you understand what I'm trying to say? Localization of technology. My time is up. Let me stop here. We cannot be importing technology and expect to carry the big bag. China didn't grow that way. China used reverse engineering. How many of you remember when there was Nokia? How many bought Nokia food? And you got to, before you discover it was not Nokia you bought, that it was Nokia. China used reverse engineering to produce. They took Nokia, they reversed it. It was initially Nokia, but today they have perfected their mobile phone technology. You have Huawei, you have Xiaomi, you have crazy phones from Nokia. They are making billions from that industry. What are we reversing in Nigeria? That is the core of BIC. We said localization of technology, traditional innovation. Any technology I see abroad, I don't just carry it home. No, I produce a local version of it. And that's how I make money. So we need to think about this. Localization of agricultural technology. You want to carry big bag in agriculture, localize the technology. Localize the technology. It will not only make it attractive, it gives you money. And these are not theory, further systems. My time is up. But when we do things like this, you will be amazed that farming will not only become attractive, you will be meeting certain need, which will give you money. Please note, value does not beg. Note that. Value does not beg. If you are not creating value, you continue to hope and beg. Yes. Mr. Toba Tiamiyu produces all male tilapia. You want to grow tilapia? It has to be all male, because it's all male tilapia that can grow into 1 kg. Nobody is interested in the small one. So when those growing the normal tilapia you see in the river are not making money, all male tilapia growers are making crazy money. Yes, we have a lot of dam wasting. Mr. Tiamiyu and his team found a way to build cages in dams. And hey, money. Those in Ondo, Akure, Ascent Business School is in Ondo State, Akure precisely. Ondo is a waterine area. They have a lot of water bodies. What are we doing with that water environment? Do you know how many cage farm you can produce in that area? Do you know how much, other than just looking for oil money, that area can generate if we think technology, localization? So I will want to stop here because of time. I'm told I have some questions. So let me quickly just attend to this one. Somebody said I spoke about microbial inoculants will not be harmful to human health on the long run. You can read about microbial inoculant after now. Microbial inoculants, in fact, our mouth is filled with bacteria. If you don't have them, you can't even survive. We have bacteria in our stomach that makes us healthy. You got is bacteria. So we have beneficial bacteria. They are important. So what happened is this. Let me just, I'm not a doctor level. Let me just quickly give you this theory. When somebody has HIV, it's not HIV that kills the person. Because what the HIV virus does is it battles your body immunity. So an ordinary cough can kill that person. Our natural immunity is what anything we are giving in drugs, in vaccine, or whatever, works to build. Your body immunity must recognize a virus to fight it. Your body immunity or your own personal virus, bacteria, whatever, must know that this is not right to fight it. So when non-beneficial bacteria overwhelm beneficial ones, the plant comes down with disease, with all manner of things. So the beneficial ones that I'm talking about, we are going to cultivate are the ones that are beneficial. So they are not detrimental to health. They are beneficial microorganisms. Mycorrhiza, I've mentioned them, nitrosomonas, so some of them. Go into research. They exist in our soil, in our water bodies and all that. There is a guy from Philippines that produces one in the Philippines, something tech, I don't want to mention his name. This guy is making crazy money. He has big distributors in Nigeria and some other places now. The funny part is these microorganisms exist in our soil. In fact, a particular one that came to me, they wanted to get into the country and they asked if I can be their rep in Nigeria. And I was asking them, what is the particular ingredient in your, and they didn't want to say it. You know why? When you look at many, they give generalized names because they know it exists in our environment. The moment you know, you can produce. So I want to encourage us to look into that. Anybody thinking that you want to make big bank, please look into that. Yeah, Mr. Tiamiyu, sir. Is it not possible to get funding agencies to have a soil lab in Nigeria to help farmers get access to testing their soil before farming so that they can know if the soil is not adequate? Well, the truth is we have all manner of agencies. But what I have discovered is these agencies are not functional. They are not functional. I'm sorry. I'm talking in public. They are not functional. They are there. But who is benefiting from them? That's a question. So what I would say is individuals need to start something. When you start, maybe later some of them will come to you. But you need to start first. And the fact that some of these agencies are not really functional also gives business room to some other people. But see, I've learned that every problem anywhere has an entrepreneurial solution. It is sad. Entrepreneurs should not be doing research. They should pick research done and work on it. But in Nigeria, you do your research, you take it to business. Beautiful. Look at what the president of ASET just said. He said his team is already working on making probiotics. That's excellent. That's excellent. That's excellent. BIC Farms concept. You can get a lot of insight. Follow BIC Farms concept across our social media pages. Subscribe to our YouTube page. You can get a lot of information on that site. And I can tell you a lot is happening. Currently, the MasterCard Foundation is funding about 12,000 Nigerians. It's a 3-year project. We are one of the technical partners on that project. They are giving out about 1,000 greenhouses free of charge to about 12,000 people on about 150 acres of land in Abeokuta. Youth around 18 to 29 are beneficiary. It's free. If you are interested, you can send a message to the convener. I will talk with him. If you fall within that age group, we will make sure you get into one of the batches. It's every 3 months, 1,000 people are subscribed. The first batch are already in camp. Accommodation. For the first 3 months, you are accommodated on the site. You are trained in greenhouse development, building, component setup, and all that. And what do you call it? Accounting, sales, so many things. It's something big that you can benefit from. You can talk with the convener later. We'll find a way on how to put more information about that out there. So, but where I'm going lastly is every one of us must put our personal initiative into place. So thank you, sir. Somebody said his research team is already working on probiotics locally. That's the truth. Somebody said for someone that is into tomato like him, it has not been easy to get access to get funds to go into large scale of tomato production. I'm sorry, sir. Sincerely, this is my belief. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to sound somehow. Please, value does not beg. I have learned that in Nigeria, if you want to succeed in business, you don't go with loan. Never use loan to build infrastructure. The best you can do with loan is to produce. Never do, because the terms are not encouraging at all. It will not help you. So you are into tomato, identify the gap within your area. Don't grow tomato because you feel like growing tomato. If everybody grows tomato in dry season, grow your own. Grow your own in rainy season. So maybe ordinary shade net or simple greenhouse or something. And if tomato does not give you money, identify a crop that will give you money. Don't just grow because you must grow. Think business, agribusiness is what makes people rich, not farming. So people farm and grow a lot of, I don't want to say rubbish, that will not make you rich. Yeah, somebody said, if certain things are implemented in Abeokuta, will we also have serious beneficiary from Abeokuta? You see, the truth is, anything that will succeed must be scaled. That is my final conclusion. Scale is key to success in agribusiness. Akure, Ondo, is in the southwest. Let me just say this. The largest food market in Nigeria is Lagos. If people bring food, tomato, pepper, all manner of things from 500, 1,000 kilometers away. Ondo, especially Akure to Lagos, is 5 hours. Within 24 hours, you will be in the market. But you cannot go to Lagos with one small load. It won't make sense. Like somebody in Akure that brings about 5 to 10 tons of tomato to Lagos every week. This guy aggregates it from a lot of people. That may be your business. That's where I'm going. You may not need to be producing. Look for small producers. Aggregate them. We started an hydroponic hub. Because somebody wants to own one greenhouse of hydroponics. And I keep saying certain factors of production are not encouraging. So we got that place. And instead of just having one person, different individuals can own their greenhouse in that same place. So we have economic of scale at our advantage. So these are things you can do. Don't isolate yourself. It's a battle you cannot win alone. That's it. It's a battle you cannot win alone. You cannot make money in agriculture when you are producing in bits. No. You cannot. In fact, you will never. In Canada, a single farmer, one farmer cultivates 800 acres of land. This man was 71 last year. He took us to his farm and I marveled. And he said, guys, I cultivated this farm for 40 years. The only assistant I got was my wife. Yes, because he had technology. The guy he sold the farm to, this guy was 49. He has 2 younger brothers, a daughter, and the daughter's boyfriend, 5 of them. This guy took us to his farm. Listen to me, 5 people cultivating 8,000 acres of land. So I asked him, what's your annual turnover? $6.5 million. $6.5 million. So when they pay off equipment to do certain things, each of them makes like $500,000. You cannot make big money when you are doing something small. It's not possible. So if you cannot grow big alone, join others. Join. Clustering, it's important. Somebody said faithfulness is also required. If we start small and sincere, you will get to like partner. Exactly. Listen to me. Currently now, how will I put it? Trust is a commodity in Nigeria and everywhere in the world. Trust. If you can sell trust, you can make a lot of money. If you can sell trust, you can make a lot of money. So what if trust is what you are bringing to the market? Why not? Bring trust, bring others, accumulate them, and you'll be amazed. So that's why I said farming is not what will give you the big bag. It's agribusiness. And agribusiness is identifying the gap that exists and meeting the gap. So I want to believe I've dealt with all the questions, and our time is well spent today. We should have more time, maybe next time. So my Oga, I think I will push it back to you now. If maybe I'm permitted to do this, you can learn more about what we do at BIC by visiting our website and our social media pages, BIC Farms Concepts, or you follow me personally, Debo Onofowora, of course, my social media page, Debo Onofowora on Facebook, Debo Onofowora on Instagram, Debo Onofowora on every other whatever. Thank you very much.
Wow.
I think we should just all put our hands together for Debo Onofura. Thank you so very much. We can't even thank you enough. And perhaps I'm even more touched that you have given us even the freedom to call on you again as shortly as possible. And this is awesome as far as I'm concerned. The information that has gone out here is, is an avalanche of information, and not just information. Of course, information is money. I cannot thank you enough, sir. I want to acknowledge, I've seen a few crossings online, I'm so happy Place College students are online. They are online as a block. Sir, you'll be speaking to also secondary school students from Place College. I'm sure you'll give them a word before you go. I'm not too sure if Preston International is also online presently, but then you will also give them a word. We have this recorded, and I'm sure that by the grace of God, everybody will greatly benefit. We have benefited so much. I was hoping that we'll give highlights of the details of this lecture, but I feel that we will do something else. We will have it on our Facebook and also on our YouTube channel. I think that's a better one indeed. So, sir, please, will you want to send a word to our youngsters who are thinking of going into agriculture, and particularly letting them know how dirty agriculture is. If agriculture is dirty, it must be dirty.
Okay, thank you very much. To my young people, I will personally tell you that agriculture used to be dirty. When I was growing up, when I was your age, when I was in secondary school, agriculture wasn't one of the options. I never wanted to be a farmer. There was no inspiration in my own school. In fact, when we had career talks and all that, nobody spoke about becoming a farmer. Everybody wanted to be an engineer, a doctor, or a pilot, and what have you. Becoming a farmer wasn't a dream back then. But I can tell you in the last 5 years, a lot has changed. We have so many young people now dreaming to be farmers. Let me tell you, farming is one of the best professions on earth if you understand the fact that you may afford not to wear clothes, you may afford not to buy a car, you may afford not to buy or build a house. But Maslow says something in the first on the hierarchy of need in life. The number one there is food. You cannot afford not to eat. So food is key. Food is essential. And food production is key. Every country in the world doesn't play with food production. Every countries, big countries, takes hold of their own food. In a province in Canada called Manitoba, in a cold province, only sees summer 4 months a year. Manitoba is just a province in Canada. But can I shock you? Manitoba makes $6 billion annually from agriculture within that 4 months. $6 billion US. Nigeria as a country makes less than 2 billion. So young people, you have a big industry ahead of you that you can go into. See, don't have a dream of carrying that cutlass and it's dead. By the special grace of God, some of us have said in our lifetime, you will only see cutlass and in the museum. But dream that you will solve your problem in your own time. You will breed seeds that are essential to survival. You will breed animals. The best, I'm hearing an echo. The best fish breed in Africa, the fish breed that brings $7 million turnover to Nigeria, is called Dutch Clarias, Hollandis. It's a variety of Dutch fish and African fish bred together. There are many things we have not seen. So young people, think about foraying into areas in agriculture that so many people your age are not going into. think about genetics, breeding. These are fields that can make you very rich. Yet you are solving problem for your world. So I want to sell the dream of becoming an agripreneur to you. It's one of the best industry. I can tell you this industry is so good that it can also take you around the world. When I started as a farmer, I just wanted to capture the opportunity that I saw, but I didn't know it would take me beyond where I was then. So I've been into farming full-time as a business for almost 19 years now, and I've seen the world by the special grace of God. So it's a good platform. I will encourage you to think about going beyond what we are doing and what your parents have done. So thank you. I will sign out from here, and I think I will talk later with my order. So see everyone some other time. I hope I'm permitted to.
You are very much permitted. Sincerely, I must appreciate you, and not just your time, but the avalanche of information that you have dished out today. And particularly what some would want to describe as private information. Because whether one likes it or not, some of this information that you have given, you have taken you so many years to develop. But then we can see the value that you have given today. So I'd like to say a big thank you, sir. We can't thank you enough, really. You have made some offers on this program. People are already calling me that they want to follow up these offers. And I'm sure that by the grace of God, we will do that. Let me also acknowledge students of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and particularly also from the Center for Entrepreneurship in that university. Finally, I would want to thank the Almighty God for making this day a possibility. Let me, before we close, acquaint us with developments that we're expecting for tomorrow and Saturday. By the grace of God, tomorrow we'll be having another of Africa's icons on board, and that's in person of Benga Sheson, who will be talking about technopreneurship, breaking the barriers that hinder us from making sustenance from technopreneurship. Benga Sheson is another Ashoka fellow and another of Africa's brightest, by the grace of God. On Saturday, we also have this time around a lady, and that's in person of Kemi Badamosi, who is coming to talk about what we describe as passionomics. Passionomics, and that's reviewing the creative industries and letting you know how much and how far you can go with that industry. So these 2 remaining days, I want to encourage us all to please be with us. The same links. Tomorrow, by the grace of God, the same time, but on Saturday, 4 p.m. Nigerian time, West African time. Thank you so very much. Once again, I'd like to thank our own Debo Onofora, or maybe I should say Africa's Debo Onofora. Thank you so very much. And for everyone who's been on board, I'd like to appreciate you for coming. I believe the time has not been wasted. Blessed be the name of the Lord Most High. Thank you. Sunkomi Kayode. Thank you very much. We'll take the accent anthem now.
Fly Neo, it makes me wanna fly. Wanna fly.
In me, oh, the power. Enterprise Air. There's something great in me, oh, strength in me, oh, the power in me, oh, it makes me wanna fly. Do you wanna fly? Yeah. Get me eyes on fly. Do you wanna fly? I've got the guts to believe I can fly. Soaring in the sky, sky. I believe I can fly. Enterprise, yeah. I believe I can fly. With enterprise, there's something great in me, oh, a strength in me, oh, a power in me, oh, it makes me wanna fly. Do you wanna fly? Yeah. Get me eyes on fly. Do you wanna fly? I've got the guts to believe I